Hello, welcome to MyAirGunReviews.com. My name is Kenny and I have set up this website and dedicated it to the review of affordable air guns. We will review air rifles, air pistols, pellet and BB. We'll let you know how much fun you're going to get for your money or how much grief. We will also review some accessories, some upgrades and fixes. We'll let you know if your money is well spent or wasted on these things. So let's get started with our next review. Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to do a full review on the Crosman MTR77 NP break barrel air rifle. This one, the MP model, came with a 4x32mm scope and no front sight. Do not be deceived by the pictures in their advertisements for this gun, because it shows AR-15 style barrel mounted front sight. It does not come that way. It also shows a scope mounted with heavier duty scope rings with 2 screws on each side of the cap. It does not come that way either. This is what comes on the front of the gun with the scope model. The NPC that comes with the carry handle will have a front sight, but it'll obviously attach to the weaver rail. The scope rings that come on it are very cheap. They got 1 screw on each side of the cap and they stick like crazy. You take the screws all the way off and you just cannot get them off. You got to pry them off. I have even done some grinding on the top to lessen the pressure on them. They still stick. Now back to the rest of the rifle. It comes with Crosman's worthless 4x32 scope. I tried in vain to shoot the gun with the original scope, but it was a painstaking pass. So I threw a Tasco 3-to-9x50mm scope on there. The scope is too long for the gun, and I didn't learn till after my accuracy test that I should have mounted the scope all the way forward as far as I could like this, because this is about where you need the scope for the eye relief to get the shoulder pad up to your shoulder. This rifle is actually best suited for like a bug buster scope, and I have ordered one for this, and I'll do a second review of the gun with the bug buster scope where I can properly shoulder the rifle and shoot it better. But all in all, it's a fun gun. It's really nice. It's very good looking. As you can see, very authentic looking. The rifled steel barrel is got a composite or polymer jacket on it, as you can see, and that's actually one of the problems with this gun. It's got a front sling mount just like the Trail NP and Trail NP XL. Weaver rail, the front sight mount is on a flat plane with this weaver rail right here, so if you put a front sight on, you will have to use a low profile front sight. Everything is pretty much molded into the gun. As you can see here, none of this is really real. It's got a nice comfortable grip. They did a good job on the grip. It has Crosman's lousy trigger. This one is not as bad as a lot of them. It seemed pretty good at first, but the longer I shot it, the longer the pull seemed to get. It's got Crosman standard manual safety. Pull back to put it on safe, press forward to remove it. This is the only piece of metal on the entire gun. It's entirely composite. That's the spring for your magazine. And like I said, the stock is kind of short, so you'll need to mount your scope, well forward. It's got a nice rifle sling in the back too. It doesn't pivot forward and back, but side to side a little bit. and just kind of a generic butt pad. Let's take a look at the other side of the rifle. Here you can see everything that's molded in on this side. Your magazine release right there. A lot of screws on this gun if you ever want to do a trigger job on it. As you can see, you got like 4 back here, several up here, several throughout the gun, all over on the I think I counted like 21 screws, not including your receiver mount screws that keep it to the stock. So you got a lot of screws to take out if you want to open the rifle up and do a trigger job on this one. I think I'm going to suffer with the trigger that came with it. I actually got a fairly good feel for it. So the rifle weighs 5.8 pounds, it's 40 inches long, and it takes up to 45 pounds of cocking effort. I actually got one reading of 48.5 pounds on the scale when I measured the cocking effort. It will wear on your arm after a while. Okay, now let's take a look at what this rifle would look like as it comes in a NPC model. And this is pretty much what the NPC version is going to look like. And anybody buying this rifle, I would recommend waiting the extra 2 weeks and ordering the MPC version with the carry handle, because it's $10 cheaper. That gives you $10 more to put a real scope on it. Plus you will come with the carry handle and the open sight. You know, it'll have a dual aperture peep sight like this, you know, a large and a small. This one has this is your windage, and your elevation is in here. This is aftermarket AR-15 carry handle. That's not a Crosman. And I picked up this front sight from Mills Fleet Farm for $23.99. It is a low profile to match up with the carry handle. But I had a devil of a time getting this thing sighted in, because I found that aside from the scope rings being so bad, the rifle had one other problem. Okay, here you can see the 177 barrels recessed, so it looks like you've got a 223 bore on this gun, which is a nice touch. But this is the problem. The front sight is mounted onto this polymer jacket, and somebody forgot to affix it. It's not affixed, you know, the polymer jacket is not fixed. So if you bump the rifle, you bump your sight off center. They need to put run a couple of set screws in under here to cure that problem. And here you can see they would have had no problem if they had just run a couple of set screws up, you know, underneath here to set into the barrel to hold the front sight steady. So Crosman, you got a little bit of work to do. Once I got it centered in, it was fine. You know, it moves. It's just tight enough where if you actually get it lined up, it should stay on unless you whack it real hard. So anyway, there you can see the couple of minor problems that you'll have with the rifle. Otherwise, a great looking, great feeling rifle to shoot. I really enjoyed it, but I know everybody wants to know how this rifle is going to perform. I particularly was expecting a power drop off with the 15-inch barrel versus the 18.7 on the TR77. I was in for quite a surprise, so let's take a look at the Chrony readings and see what we got. Okay, this will be 5-shot shooting RWS Hypermax 5.2 grain alloy pellets. We get a low of 1220 feet per second, a high of 1327, an average of 1248, extreme spread of 107, standard deviation 44.54. I think that first shot there was still a little bit of oil in the barrel from cleaning, and that probably elevated that a little bit, but 1220 for a low, that's pretty good. We also had a high decibel reading of 114.2 decibels. Now we're done with the alloy pellets. Let's take a look at the standard lead pellets, RWS Hobby 7 grains. Shooting the lead pellets, we got a high decibel reading of 98.6, which is not bad. And for the RWS Hobby 7 grain, we had a low of 1064, a high of 1076 feet per second, an average of 1070 feet per second. That is really good. 12.11 foot extreme spread, standard deviation 5.65. Okay, as you noticed on the alloy pellet test, that first shot was kind of high because there was a little oil residue, because I did clean the barrel on it. And you know, after 20 swipes through with the nylon bore brush and the cleaning solvent, this is what the first patch came through looking like. It was really black. Okay, just to make sure we didn't get skewed readings because of the oil in the barrel, I redid the alloy pellets, and I even got a higher decibel reading this time of 114.8. But this time we got a low of 1203 feet per second, a high of 1220, an average of 1210 feet per second. Extreme spread of 17, standard deviation 6.24. That is pretty good. This, I was expecting lower power with the shorter barrel, but they really surprised me. So we developed 16.91 foot-pounds of muzzle energy on the second shooting of the alloy pellets. We developed 17.8 foot-pounds of energy shooting the 7 grain hobbies. The other notable pellets that I shot across were the RWS Superdome 8.3 grain. I had a low of 962.3, a high of 977.0, average 970.1, extreme spread of 1476, standard deviation 5.65, with 17.35 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. And the sound level was 97 decibels shooting the RWS. Then we also shot the H&N Cro-Magnum 9.26. We had a low of 882.7, a high of 895.1, extreme spread of 12.41. The average was 887.5. Standard deviation 5.83. And the H&N Barracuda Hunter Extremes 9.26 grain. We had a low of 895.5, a high of 900, average of 898.2, extreme spread of only 4.53, standard deviation 1.73. they generated 16.59 foot-pounds of energy, and also 97 decibels. And our most accurate pellet in the shooting test was the H&N Barracuda 10.65 grain. We had a low of 851.6, a high of 860.7, average of 855.3, extreme spread of 9.08, standard deviation 3.60, and 17.3 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. So this rifle has got some balls, to say the least. I was quite surprised at the 1070 feet per second with the lead pellets. That is excellent, especially for the short barrel that it has on it. So now, I guess we take it outside and we do an accuracy test. Okay, I'm going to try something stupid here. I've only shot 14 rounds through the gun at a target, but I'm going to try 5 shots using the iron sights at 20 meters using Crosman Premier hollow point 7.9 grain. Okay, I've shot about 150 rounds through this thing. My arm's about ready to fall off. So I am going to try 5 rounds at 20 meters, that's 62.6 feet, shooting H&N Barracuda 10.65 grain pellets, and we're using the Tasco 3 to 9 by 50 millimeter scope. Well, I am actually kind of proud of that, because pellets have been flying with this thing. These are some of my last attempts getting it sighted in. The pellets were still flying pretty good all over the place. You know, they were spreading out, and I saw it was starting to tighten up a little bit in here, and I gave a couple of practice shots here and then decided we were ready, and the rifle is starting to group after about 150 shots. I think this one is more me than the rifle, because I'm having a difficult time getting the rifle up to my shoulder with this particular scope. I think this rifle is best suited with like a bug buster. So all in all, after 150 shots, that's not bad. I can see this gun is going to be a lot of fun to shoot. It's not going to be real target shooter because of the 45 pounds of cocking effort. I think it's backed off a little bit, you know, after over 150 shots, but it's still really stiff. I think my Benjamin Trail NPXL cocks easier than this one. It's really cool and it's fun to shoot, and I'm looking forward to doing a little open sight shooting at 40 or 45 feet and getting a bug buster scope on it and trying it like that. And I'll do a little review update once I've done all that. But like I said, do not waste your money on the NP version. Get the MPC version, get the carry handle, get the front sight that it's supposed to have, and apply that money that you save buying that one towards a good scope if you want a scope. So that is my review of the Crosman Nitro piston powered MTR77 NP. Thank you for watching.